Hello again, welcome along. In this video we're going to be doing our annual PAT test. Now our PAT testing is the annual test you do each year on all your castles to check that they're all in good working condition and there's no repairs needed. Now there were 16 of them to do in this video, and each one of them you get a little certificate like you can see flashing up on the screen there, and that's to say that they all passed. So we've sped up the video a little bit just to show you how it is all done, but we've got two lined up in the garden there, and there goes the first one. That's it going up, and that is the adult celebrations theme. Quite a big castle as you can see going up there, and we've got Darren, our man from Jump Bounce, who's going to do all our testing on these videos. So what he does is he checks the height of all the castles and check that there's no tears or the stitching has come loose. He also does an air check to check the air is at the correct pressure, which it was on this one, I believe. So once you get them all done, then you just deflate them. We've got two up as you can see in the garden, but it takes a little while to get all the air out of them, so we're just going to walk them along, fold it, get it out of the way. Now when I do these, I generally start with the bigger castles first. Get those out of the way. Here we go, we got another helper, Joe. He disappeared there on the big one. But anyway, we're going to squash all the air out of it, get it rolled up, and then get another one ready to test. So generally when we do it this way, we try and get two up if we can. So while Darren is testing one of them, we're getting the second one up. There it goes. And that one there is the 12 by 12 red and blue castle, as we call it. It's from Better Bounce, this one. You can see the back view of it there. Darren's in there just doing his tests, and he's checking the air there. See the zip at the back? He puts his little probe in there and he'll check the air pressure, pretty much like a heating engineer or a plumber would do, I believe. So that's the second one down. That's a 12 by 12 a red and blue castle, and now we got the slide section of the obstacle course gone up. So as we're folding these over, me and Joe, Darren's going around testing that. Now it doesn't actually take that long to do the testing, particularly if he's done them all before, as he has all the paperwork that he needs. So we've got that one rolled up, and there goes the slide section of the obstacle course, the jungle. So we're just going to fold it all over and get that one rolled. Now as I say, it doesn't take him that long to do these. Obviously we've sped the video up, so it takes longer than that, but once he's got all his paperwork and he knows exactly the dimensions of each castle, he doesn't have to write it all out again as new. So that's probably the benefits really of having a repeat customer. He's got all the paperwork there, he just needs to go around, check it, and then tick it off. So we've got our next one out now. This is another adult one. So we're just going to put this up on its own. It's quite a big unit. Now this is a 15 by 18 SeaWorld castle. Now we don't actually get a lot of call for this at the moment. I have been thinking of selling it on, but I quite like the unit and it seems to come into fashion and then go out. At the moment it's out, but it could just come back in again. That sometimes happens with castles. For whatever reason, they come back into fashion again and you get a lot of call. At the moment it's not getting so many, but I'll keep it anyway. So we've tested that, that's all passed, hopefully. So we're just going to get all the air squashed out of it. Use our little mat trick as we do. Just walk it down from the front of the castle to the back, pushing the air out the tube at the back. Now it's a 2-man roll, this one's quite a big unit as you can see, quite heavy. It's about 155 kilos I believe, this one. And as you can see, we hadn't rolled it correctly, so we went back and did it again. Sometimes if you don't roll it, you can't get the straps around, so you need to push the air right out. Now as I say, as this one is not used that much, it was quite stiff, the material. It hadn't been out and it's not been used for quite a while. So we had to squash all the air out and make sure we could get our straps around it, which we did. So that's 2 of the biggest ones out of the way. So we've got 2 12x12s now coming out. Well, one 12x12 and that is the Action Hero slide, the furthest one away. That's the one that's going up now. In fact, they're both going up at the same time. So we've got a little activity castle there with a little biff and bash section in it. Quite a nice little castle, that one. It's out quite a lot. It goes in both in gardens and also in halls. It's got a low ceiling height on it. I think it's about 7.5 foot, that one. So it's just over 2 meters, so it goes into most venues. So it's quite handy in the winter months. There's Darren doing his test on the back there, checking the air pressure. And he's just going through now, checking any tears, any damage to the stitching. And deflating it and letting it down. Now he's already tested the slide there. Again, you couldn't really see that because the camera's obviously at the back of it. So we've got those 2 down. So I think that was about 6 we'd done there. Now the whole testing took us about, I think he came about 9:30 and we had it done by 12. So about 2.5 hours of non-stop just rolling them out, getting them tested and getting another one up and then putting them away again. So it was quite quick going. So we got the other part 2 section of the obstacle course there. That's the one with the biff and bash, you can see. Darren's in there now checking it all. So we did it in about 2.5 hours, which is pretty good going. And the fact that we can get 2 up kind of speeds up the process, as you can see. Right, so we've got the next one up now. That is the 12x12 Princess Castle. I'm just tying it on the back of the blower there. Up she goes. This is another BT unit. Very popular, these ones, obviously, Princess ones. As I was saying earlier, some castles come into fashion and some go out. But the Princess ones never go out of fashion. Same as the jungle themed ones. They're pretty much year on year, always very popular. So I've got 3 of these 12x12s from BT, a little blue one, a yellow one, and this Princess one. Probably the most popular out of the 3. And very well made units. Now we're just going to get that one deflated. There's Joe coming around with the next one. And we'll get the Princess folded over. Always pull it over to the middle when we're folding and then roll it from the front to the back. Some people do it a different way. They fold it side on, but that's the way we've always done it, and we push the air out the back of the tube there. Sometimes we use the match to squash it out if the air is not moving. But on this one it's quite easy. The smaller ones, you can just push the air straight out the back. Now we've got the SeaWorld combi there, which has just been tested. That's one of 3 we've got that are by air inflatables. This is a SeaWorld one, very popular. Another one that doesn't come in and out of fashion, it's always very popular. Not as popular as the jungle themed one or the Princess, but again it's still pretty popular, which is what you want really. Sometimes you get specific themes and they might be good for a couple of years and then you don't have them out for a while, so they're just sort of taking up storage, which is not great. You want them on rotation all the time. So that's that one done. Well, that's them 2 done, out of the way. Probably about halfway at this point. I've got another 2 coming down now. As we go, we do the smaller ones. This is another BT one, the blue one there you can see, and that one in the far ground is the jungle themed air inflatables, castle with slide. So this is another BT one, same as the Princess one we just done previously. Same dimensions, just a little bit of a different theme. I bought them all at the same time from BT. Very popular manufacturer, BT. They got a lot of really good themes. They're always changing over their stock and coming out with new designs. They also do the Velcro panelled ones as well, which are very popular. But you can just see through the top there, we've done the jungle combi. We're rolling that one up. Getting it out of the way. There's Darren undoing the back of it for us. That's it, on the trolley, bring it round. And then rolling it from the front to the back, as always. Like I said, I don't squash the air out of these with the mats, I just push it out as I'm going along. And a couple of straps. Now they're about 70 kilos, these ones. Pretty good weight, and they go into most venues and also most houses. So sometimes if you don't have a side entrance, they have to come through the house. These are ideal sizes. So 12 by 12s or 10 by 10s are pretty good. Now the combis there, sometimes they won't go through a house. In fact, I've stopped doing them, bringing them through. You can sometimes get them through, but you can sort of bash into people's doors and so on, trying to get them through. So unless they've got a side entrance or a side gate or a rear gate, then I don't bring them through the house. Most people do, so it's not generally an issue, but some people don't, so I just recommend a smaller castle. And there we go, another 2 down. Now this one we're just doing it one castle because it is the play zone, which is quite large. We could have probably got a smaller castle at the back there. We did have space, but we just did it on its own because it's quite a large unit. Now this is from Air Key, this one. Very popular, again, all year round. We do it in gardens, but not as much as we do it in halls during the winter months. As you can see, it's a very low ceiling height. It's only around 5 foot. 1.5 meters or so in height, and it's very light, this one. Quite a large unit. It's got a little ball pond built into it, and also a little jumping area and a little slide. So it's for under 5s really. It's very popular. We do it in the gardens, but I don't do it as much as I used to, because if you do get a shower, it can get flooded inside and then they can't use it. And obviously I've got a lot of cleaning to do afterwards and drying out and stuff. But this is another BT one coming up, a little 12 by 12. Very popular again. It's a celebration theme. You can't see it on the back there, but on the front it's just got balloons. Same as the blue one we did previously. Very popular again, it comes out. And sometimes we do this one as a package. So we'll do a slide and a 12 by 12 castle. People do go for that. Very popular. If you've got a lot of kids, we always recommend having 2 units out. So some kids are on the slide, some people are on the 12 by 12. Now most of these 12 by 12s hold about 6 kids. So if you've got more than that, or if it's for a school, then we always recommend using both of them, or just a slide or one of the bigger castles. Or even the obstacle course, which again is very popular with schools. We do that a lot in the summer months. But these are your little standard 12 by 12s that go in halls and also in most gardens. That's a little 10 by 10 we got there. That's an Air Inflatables one, a jungle themed. Again, very popular, never go in and out of fashion. I'm just squashing the air on that one. It doesn't sort of push the air out as well as the BT ones, the Air Inflatables. But again, these are very popular. They're out all the time in the summer in gardens. That's another 2 down. Now we also do a lot of soft play. You've probably seen them on videos previously, but we don't tend to put these out in gardens in the summer. Sometimes we do if we think the weather's going to be okay, but generally the soft play is more indoor use. And that's our last one, a little Tots bouncer. We don't do that so much on its own, but it comes as part of a package. We'll do that with some soft play in a hall. Again, it's got a very low ceiling height on it, as you can see. Goes into most venues, and it's for under fives really, so it's part of a package we do with soft play and a ball pit. So that was pretty much it. That was all the castles done. So that took us about 2.5 hours in total, which is pretty good going to do 16 castles. We used to take them to the yard to have them done and then collect them a couple of days later, but it's not that local to me, and he does this testing on the premises now. He does more of this, he says, than does actually doing it at the yard. So that suits me, saves on all the travelling. And that's it. That's a little tots bouncer, as we call it. So there you go. That's all the castles tested for another year. Anyway, thanks for watching the video. I hope you found it helpful and you enjoyed it. That's my testing out of the way for another year, which is all good. Thanks for watching the video as always, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.